Okay, I welcome you all to the first class of Introduction to Database. My name is Mr. Samir Muhammad. Okay, so I will be handling your Introduction to Database classes. So, what are the materials for you? I will download and I will share you on the Blackboard. Okay, for the time being, I will display it from my screen, from my computer. Okay. So after the class, I will upload or send you the email. Okay. Can you see my screen, all of you? Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Can
Mr.
okay. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
Mr.
Uh, so this is our course materials. Okay, in this course material, we have first the course outline. So let me open the course outline. So our subject is Introduction to Databases. Course code is this one, ITDR 2106. So you have 4 contact hours. So 2 hours is for the lecture and 2 hours is for the lab. Okay, this is the name of the coordinator, the subject coordinator. Okay, so what is the description of this course, Introduction to Database? So if you learn this course, you will get the complete knowledge of how to design database and how to implement the database system. So these are the main objectives that you will achieve after you learn this course. So in future, if you go to any job, so they ask you to design the database and they ask you to implement the database. So then you can use your skills, what you learn in this subject. So this subject is also covering how to draw the modeling, how to do the modeling. That means relational model. And also it covers, this is one language. The name of language is SQL. Okay. And slowly when we cover the lectures, we'll move to the some other languages known as PL slash SQL. What are these? I will tell you later. Okay, so our course contains modeling, SQL, PL, SQL. Also, how to define the relationship between the entities that you will show in the model diagram. Model means a design, a diagram. How to do the mapping. There are some levels: conceptual, logical, physical. Okay, these things you will learn in the lectures. And also one concept known as normalization. So these you will cover in the last lectures. So our lecture is fully a practical based hands-on learning course which covers modeling, SQL, PLSQL, and also the entity relationships and the normalization process. So you have already completed that principles of information course, which is a prerequisite for this one. Okay, we provide you the PowerPoint slides and the PDF for the labs and the tutorials. Fine. Okay. Now, what is the main objective? See, I was discussing. You are going to learn, master the fundamental concepts of how to design the database, how to model the database, and write the program in the language PL or SQL. And apply this knowledge to the solving of real world problems, means in the industry, in the company, private, government, or any company. If you go, you can use this one. Anybody I ask you, you are all going to the hospital. Like if you are from Sharkia, you go to Sur Hospital or Sur Health Center or Sur Polyclinic, Mustashfi Sur, or what do you call this one? Uh, Polyclinic Sur and Health Center. You know, the Health Center Sur, Markaz Al Sahi Sur. So like this, if you are in Muscat, you go to many hospitals like Royal Hospital, Khola Hospital. Okay. Uh, did you observe at the reception at the time of istiqbal, uh, you give your number, ID card. So they check in the system. What is the software they are using in the system? Do you know anybody? Just general knowledge, I am asking. Have you observed what is the name of software they are using, or what is it called? In all the Sultanate of
Yes.
Oman? Yeah, tell me please, Asma.
It is Access.
No, not Access. They use Oracle, that what you are going to learn in this course. But there is a name for the system. Have you heard the name of the system? What is the name of the system? Al Shifa. Have you heard this one? Al Shifa. Al Shifa system. Did anybody notice that when you go there, it will be there? Al Shifa system. Ministry of, see this one or this one. Okay, this one. This is the name of the system. Whatever you go there, your name, everything, your personal information, they store in this system, in the database. What is the name of the system is Al Shifa. So this is the system that you have in all your government hospitals. In all your government hospitals, Al Shifa system. So this is the I am showing you, like where you can use these skills after learning these skills, where you can use. So for that reason, I am showing you this. What is the name of that system is Al Shifa system. Okay, see, this is the system. Al Shifa is an integrated system. It will be used in Ministry of Health. Fine, that is the story I want to tell you. Where you are using is in the hospitals. Database name is Oracle. So the system name is Al Shifa. You go and check with the doctor. See in the screen of the doctor what is the name of the application. It is written there, Al Shifa. Okay, fine. So this is the course, practical oriented course, which where you learn how to design, how to implement the database, and how to solve the real world problems. So you can solve the problems, and you can also take the certification, etc. After learning this course. Okay, see, after learning the completion of this course, you can find out what is the difference between data, database, and database management system. So right now we are saying database management. The short form is DBMS. We will call like this, DBMS, database management system. So what is this all? You will come to know the difference at the end. Okay, and you will learn the different functions of database management system. Okay, then you can suggest to your managers, if you are working in a company, you can give some suggestion, advice regarding which is the good database management system, what are the requirements of the database management system to be implemented in the company. Like that, you can give some suggestions to the manager if you are working in a company. Then, see, you can describe and state structural integrity, behavioral aspects of relational model of the data. Means data you can design in one way. That way is known as modeling. Using the modeling tools, we can design our database, how it behaves, what is the structure, okay, what is the integrity. These things we can learn after completion of this subject. You will be able to learn how to write the queries using one language, the mathematical notations known as relational algebra. Okay, algebra. You say, I think, algebra. Okay, writing the queries using this language you will learn. Then you will learn the commands using this language, ddl commands, to create the structure of the database schema. Okay, so as I told, designing, implementation, testing of the database, all these things you can learn. How to provide the constraints means conditions. Your mobile number is having how many digits? Your mobile number is having how many digits? Your mobile number.
Eight.
Yeah, good, Muhammad. So this is condition. I cannot enter more than 8 tamania digits with. I don't want 9 or 6 or 7. So this is my condition. So that type of conditions you can implement. That is called constraint in this course. For the columns like mobile number, student ID, civil ID, bata ka shakhsiya rakam. So that also, okay. So we use these languages like SQL to write queries, and using this one join operators. You will learn this one later, just I will tell you. Okay, SQL, you will write queries using these things, operators, queries, views, etc. The advanced level now is known as this one, stored procedures, cursors, triggers, using this software Oracle you will learn. Okay, uh, and also you can learn how to draw this entity relationship diagram. One to many, I think you studied in the principles of information system, creating the relationships like one to one, one to many to one, many to many. So that relationships you can learn here also in the database subject. The last one, the advanced version of this ERD is known as Enhanced Entity Relationship Model. So you will learn here this one, lastly, EER it is called. And also one concept known as normalization. It is very important for the database. So these are the things you will achieve after the successful completion of this course, which is very important. So if you are thorough in this one, if you are learning this one in this introduction to database, then after you graduate, this course is very helpful to get the job. Like you see in the Wazarat al-Saha, Ministry of Health, you go to the IT department and ask them what is the software they are using. They are using this one, Oracle. They are using Oracle database. So that is the software. So to use that Oracle database, we should learn some concepts. So what are those concepts? We discuss in our course, Introduction to Databases. Okay, so See, this is our plan, our lectures plan. The first lecture is about what is the database systems introduction. Okay. Second lecture, we will talk about data modeling. What is a data model? Means designing. You can use different tools, concepts to design your database in the lecture 2. Parallelly, you will have the lab. That means the exercises related to this topic. For this topic, this is the lab or the exercise. For this topic, this is the lab or exercise. Okay, so first lecture is introduction to database systems. Second lecture is data models. The third lecture is about SQL part 1. Okay, SQL means structured query language. So here is from here onwards, your commands, your instructions, your actual practical things will start. Okay, based on this, you will get the assignments and labs. Okay, and also you will get some commands. You will learn some commands to practice. This is about lecture 3, which is called as SQL part 1. Continuation of this lecture 3 is this one, number 4. Lecture 4 is SQL part 2. Okay, here you will learn how to store the data into the database, how to modify, etc. And related to that, there is a lab. This is lecture 4. What is that? SQL part 2. Fine. Now we move on to lecture 5. So what you are going to learn in lecture 5 is advanced SQL. So whatever you learn in lecture 3 and 4, some more advanced concepts, the new concepts you will learn in this advanced SQL lecture 5. Okay, so based on that, you have here your lab sessions. Again, when we move to this lecture 6, there is one language what you will use known as PL/SQL. This also is divided into two parts. So lecture 6, you will study the first part, PLSQL1, part 1. So here you will learn how to write the program, etc. Number 7 is the continuation of this one, PLSQL1. Now it is PLSQL2. Some more advanced concepts we will discuss in this lecture 7. Also, the next level of PLSQL2 is this one. The another advanced concepts is 3. PLSQL1 part 1, PLSQL part 2, PLSQL part 3. So 6, 7, 8 lectures. So this is your PLSQL part. Then we move on to the next lecture 9, where you learn about the relationships modeling, creating the entity, which is known as ERD, entity relationship modeling techniques that you will learn here. Okay, so based on that, you have the assignments, etc. Then number 10 lecture, conceptual model translation. So some diagrams you need to learn here. You need to learn different concepts so that how you can translate your design into your ERD into conceptual model. So what is conceptual model? We will discuss that later. Okay, so this is lecture 10. Now 11, 12 is the important one, which is known as normalization of database tables. Normalization means it is a technique. You will remove the unnecessary things from the data, repeated things from the data. That is called normalization. So this is covered into two lectures, two parts. Normalization part 1, which is studied in lecture 11. Normalization part 2, that is studied in lecture 12. Okay. The last one is about the designing of the database. Okay, like in the principles of information systems, you have learned systems development life cycle, isn't it? SDLC. You studied, no? In the principles of information system, analysis, designing, coding, testing, implementation, maintenance. Have you studied this one? SDLC concepts, waterfall model. I think this one you studied in principles of information system. Studied or not, students? Have you studied that one?
Yes, we
Yes,
studied.
Master.
Based on that concept, similarly, you will design the database, and that is known as DBLC. Instead of systems development lifecycle, this is called as database development lifecycle. Okay, so these are the 13 lectures that is included in our course Introduction to Databases. So later in week 14, week 15, we have like practical exam and assignment submissions. Those things we will cover. Okay, so totally you have 13 lectures. So your lectures are something like this. So these are all your lectures. So as I told, this is the introduction. This is about the modeling. This is about the SQL, part 1, part 2, advanced SQL. Then this one, PLSQL 1, 2, 3, 3 parts, lecture 6, 7, 8. Then lecture 9 is this ER modeling. 10 is conceptual diagram translation, that one. 11, 12 is normalization. Last, the designing of the database. So these are the 13 lectures we cover in this course. Now let us come to the teaching methods. What we use is 2 hours lecture and 2 hours the lab. Okay, and what are the softwares you require? See here, these are the softwares you need to have. This one, Windows 10, Oracle Express Edition, Oracle database. So all of you have to download this software and install this software in your computers, in your laptops. So all of you must have your laptops. In that, you should download this software to do the practicals, to do the assignment, to do the labs, project, anything. You need this one. Okay, so everybody has to install and show me in your laptops this one. And also another software, Oracle SQL Developer. These two softwares we require. Okay, and this one I will tell you some more free sources where you can do it online for drawing the entity relationship diagram. So apart from this, we will use Blackboard and other online resources. But you need to install this software, Oracle Express Edition, and also Oracle SQL Developer you should install. Okay, So next, what are our different types of assessments? See, you have project as an assignment, midterm exam, quiz, the lab work. That means you are doing daily. When I give exercise, you have to complete that exercise. For that also, you have some marks. Then practical exam, then the final exam. So these will cover, these are the outcomes, what we discuss here. These are the outcomes, 1 to 10. The marks distribution for your different assessments are like this. Quiz in the blackboard, you will get 10 marks for that one. Project, 20 marks. Midterm exam carries 20 marks. Your attendance, participation, uh, then completion of your labs carries 5 marks. Your lab exam is 15 marks. So final exam 30. So 70, 30. So 70 is your continuous assessment, quiz, project, midterm, attendance, lab. Then the remaining is final exam, 30%. Okay, students, so this is our assessment methods and different types of assessments what we follow in this course. You are aware that what is your marking scale, that you are not new student, so it is there. These are the grading uh, letters and these are the marks range. This is the suggested textbook. You can download online. You can go and download, search this book. You can download, or if you have access to our Blackboard, in the Blackboard also you have uh, textbooks. So you can also go there and what do you call? Download the textbooks. You can just type in the internet that one. What is the name of the textbook, and you can get it. See this one. This is our textbooks. I think internet it is available in the online. You can go there and you can download the textbook. So that is a suggested textbook we follow for our course. This one. Okay, edition 12. The publisher name, sorry, Senage Learning, and 2017 is the version. See here you have different textbooks here. I think this is your okay. I think this one. So if you click this, you will get the e-copy. Okay, you can just go here and you can get the books. I will paste this one in your chat box. So the URL I just sent to you in the chat box, you can copy that. You can search for that book online. Okay, so other books we follow this one for the reference books. So please note that when you do the assignments, projects, lab exam, do not copy from the others' work. It will lead you to the penalty. So this is known as plagiarism. So you can read in the our college website the policies of plagiarism. What will be the result if you plagiarize? So my sincere advice is, in whichever subjects or whatever you study, follow your own work, implement your own work, don't get it from the others. Understand, students? If you have any queries, any questions, you can ask me so that we can proceed to the lecture 1. Students, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Boys, any doubts, any questions you have so far, please, you can ask me.
No, mister. I don't have a question.
Thank you.
There are how many students here? Totally, I think 28 students. So today, many of them are not present. Okay. So I will go for the first lecture. Where it is.
صاحي كاميرا.
This is our first lecture, Introduction to Database Systems. So this is the name of the textbook, and this is the author name, Carlos Coronel, Stephen Morris. Fine. So which I show you. You can download it from the internet. Okay, in this lecture, you will know the difference what is data and what is information by Anath. Okay, what is the meaning of database? How many different types of database are there? That you will learn here. Then why it is important designing the database? What are the different modern techniques, modern databases available from the history till now? What are the types of databases we use? That we will learn. What are the problems in the system database management system you will learn. And how many different components are there, the main components of the database system you will learn. And lastly, the functions of the DBMS. DBMS means database management system. What are the different functions that you will learn? Okay, students, so these are the objectives. So let us go and discuss the differences here. Data meaning what? Information meaning what? See, here it is given, data means the raw fact which is not yet processed, which is not as processed and which is not giving any meaning to the user. Data. Okay, let us say, for example, I will show you. What is this one? You know this one, no? Students, can you see this image? What is this one? What do you call in Arabic this one? This image, what do you call?
Rice.
Raw rice. It is not. Can you eat this one?
No.
No, Ustad.
No. This is not having meaning. When you clean this, when you remove this husk, it is called husk. When you remove this, when you clean, when you process, then when you polish, shining will come. Then you can cook the rice and you can eat like this. This is information. This is your data. So data is not having any meaning. Data is not having any meaning. So after you take this, you remove the skin, you process it like this, then you will cook the rice and eat it. So here comes your actual meaning of this one. What is a data and what is the information here? Data is nothing but the fact. Like say, one more thing which I tell you. For example, this is someone's number. Okay, then I say some more thing. Okay, then I say what is this all? This all is what this one?
Information.
No, this is just data. I have here something called this number. I don't know whether this is mobile number or this is your Bataka Shatsiya Rakam. Or I don't know what is this one, student ID. I don't know this one. What is this? This is your age or your salary or your date of birth. What is this? Or this is your house number or this is your car number. I don't know. Just this is data. This is data. This is data. This is data. So by taking all this one, what you will do is you are going to design or give some relationship. So you will say here, like this is your, what do you call, name. And you will say, this is your age. Okay, like this. Then you will say, this is my city. Okay, then you will say, this is my job designation and my contact number, mobile number. So if you have like this, then you can store the information here. Here you will say that your information is Jameel, your age is 21, you are from Muscat, and you are an engineer, and your mobile number is this one, 912111025, something like this. This is having some meaning. This is not having your any meaning here. So this is nothing but your raw data. This is nothing but your information. This is the difference between these two. You understand? So this is the data and this is the information. What is the differences? Data is just some raw data, which is not having any relationship, which is just an ambiguous. It can be anything. But by taking this data, you are defining the meaning here. So that is what is given in your lecture here. What is the data means? It's a data is a raw fact, which is not yet processed to reveal the meaning to the user. So here there is no meaning to the user, but here you can see Al Jamil is the name, 21 is the age, Muscat is a city, engineer is a designation, this is mobile number. But here it can be anything. So that is the main difference here. So data is nothing but the building block of information. Okay. Building block means the fundamental foundation, building blocks. Okay. So data management. So you have to generate the data, store the data, get the data. This is the work involved in this management of data. You want to manage the data means you have to generate stores somewhere in the memory card or in the hard disk or in the cloud, anywhere, and then you get that data. These are the work which is known as management. So information, it is produced by processing the raw data. So you have this raw data. After you process it, it gives you the meaning. So here, by taking this data, I have told that this is the database or this is the information of a person or an employee. This is the information of employee. What is the name of employee? What is the age of employee? What is the city? What is the job? What is the mobile number? Processed information, which is giving the meaning. Okay, so requires context. So what is this context? This is for example an employee database. Okay, so that is why I write here like employee means some company, the person who is working in a company or in any organization. Next is bedrock of knowledge, means it's a fact, it's a foundation, solid foundation, bedrock of knowledge. The information what you have should be correct, relevant, and timely. You have to enable it in order to take the decision. Means you have to keep updating this information. This should be correct. It should not be wrong. Suppose, simple example, I will tell, like here, what is your blood group? Okay. Suppose you are joining any company, like government company. Tomorrow you are joining as a job engineer. They will store your information in the database. Can we store anything here in the blood group? Can we store anything here in this blood group? Here data. Can we store anything? Can we write anything?
No.
See, for example, if I write anything like Z positive, or for example, like I say AB positive, but we don't know whether this one is the correct group for this Al Jamil person. Tomorrow, this person met with an accident or he is in need of blood. That time, you have to search in the records of the database. What is the blood group? If you give this blood group, then health consequences will come. He may die if you give the wrong group of blood. So the information should be correct. The information should be accurate. So whatever is your group, that correct information we have to enter in this database. Timely, you have to update the information. Correct information. So that is what here, it should be accurate, it should be relevant, it should be timely enabled. So to take a good decision. So if Al Jamil is having a necessity of blood, I refer to the database in the computer and I can go to hospital and tell that I want this group of blood, which will be easy to take decision. We can save the life. So that is the reason here, the data, what the information, what you are having, it should be correct. It should be relevant. It should be timely, correct, maintained. So this is the difference. So in the, for example, like in the short answers, they will ask, write the difference between data and information, or what is the difference between data and information. So that time you have to write the answers like this. What is the data and what is the information? Do anybody have doubt here?
No, mister.
Boys, any questions?
No, Mister. No.
So I will show you the sample question. Some tutorials I will show you. Let us say okay, this is a sample type of questions you may get in the exam like this. List any two differences between data and information. So you have to write like this table, write the heading and write example like this, your answer. And here also you write the differences, 2 points. They may ask anything, but I am giving you some sample question. How the question can be. List the difference between the data and information. Any two or any three like this. Understand? Now see the introducing to the database. So database is the collection of information, see, which is shared integrated computer structure which stores collection of the user's data, the raw facts of interest to end user. End user means the person who is using the data. Like you are the student, you are the end user for the system. SIS, student information system, is there. So in that SIS, you have your details, your course, your marks, your personal information, etc. So you are the end user who can access that data. End user data, that is the meaning. Your data. Metadata means the information, the data about the data. Means it is like a dictionary, like you have Oxford Dictionary. In the Oxford Dictionary, you find the meaning of different words. One word, if you take, it will tell you one meaning. Again, you take the same meaning, the word in the meaning, search for that particular word, you will get another meaning. So the information about the information, so data about the data, so through which the end user can data are integrated and managed. So metadata is used to describe data characteristics and relationships between the different things. Now the concept of database, you should know this one, DBMS. Database management system is what? What is DBMS? Means collection of programs, many programs which are collectively called database management system. What this DBMS will do? It will manage the structure of the database. What this DBMS will do? It will control the access to data stored in the database. Like see, you have your marks in the SIS. You are the students. You cannot delete your marks. You cannot update your marks. This is your permission, controlling. You have the access control. Teachers can enter the marks. Registration can delete the marks. So every person will have access. I have some permissions. Registration will have some permissions. Students will have some permissions. Like that, we can set the roles, we can set the permissions. So we can control the accessing of the data which is stored in the database. So these are the things what this DBMS consists of. It's a collection of programs. You can manage the structure of the database. You can control the access of the database through this DBMS software. Name is Oracle. I will show you that one. Now see, what is the role of DBMS? This also, it can be asked in the short answer. What is the role? What it will do, this DBMS? DBMS is in between, the middleman, like that, intermediary between user and the database. User and the database. Like see, here I will save this picture so that it can be used for the other sections. Data versus info. Okay, then next. So what I mean to say is, here like you have a user. Okay. Then here you have the database. Between this user and database, the symbol for database is this one. Okay, for instance, this one. Okay, this is your database. This is the user. So how you are going to access the data? Here is your student data in this database. How you are going to access, how you are going to see your data? With the help of one software which is known as your DBMS, database management system. This is your intermediate thing, like an intermediary. So it is like an interface for you and this database. Through this DBMS software, you can access your information. So that is the meaning here. You understand? Intermediary means the middleman between you and your database. So it enables you to data to be shared. It will help you to present the end user with an integrated view of data. Means using this software, you can see the information in a more arranged manner, integrated, maybe in the form of table, maybe in the form of a graph, etc. Like that. Okay. So that is the meaning here, integrated view of data. Means it will be like a picture. Okay. Next point, the role of DBMS is it will receive and translate the application request into operations required to fulfill the request. Means it will receive. For example, you are the student. You want to store the data into this database. So you will send your information here. You are requesting. You are requesting by typing your student ID. I want to see my marks. So this request will go to the database. Then that database will search and it will give you the reply. So here you will get the reply, response. Okay, here also response. This is your question request. So the DBMS, it will take your request, forward it to your database, then it will translate your request into some answer and get the answer back to the user. So that is the work what the DBMS is doing. It will fulfill your request. See, in the SIS, if you type your student ID, it will give your information. It will give your information. Okay, if you want to check what is your timetable or who is your advisor, something like that. So for example, like I want to see my class lists. So I will select this semester. So if I click this one, the information from the database, it will show me who are the different students. Like that, this is the scenario I explained to you. Understand? It will hide the database internal complexity from the application programs and users. This DBMS software, it will not show you what is happening here inside to the user. You are asking, you are typing the student number, then for that student number, you will get your timetable. Internally, how it is searching, how it is processing, that information is not given to the user. It is hiding complex things. It is making your work easy. So that is the role of database management system. So your sample question will be something like this. See, describe briefly about the role of DBMS. This question. Then you have to write the answer. It can be in your own language. It acts as an interface between end user and database. It enables you to share the data. It will hide the details from the user. It will send the request, process the request to give the output. Such type of own answers you can write. You understand? Role of the DBMS. Students, are you getting?
Yes.
Okay, so I am giving you side by side like what are the expected questions, so you can practice reading, studying like this. What is the difference between the data? What is the difference between the information? What is the role of database management system? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, how many are there, that you can write it as an answer. Okay. So in the next slide, you can see the picture like this. See, whatever I am drawing, no, they are showing you like this. See, here you can see who is the end user. This is the end user who are going to use. It can be you, it can be a teacher, it can be an administration staff, it can be a registration staff. Any person can use your data. See, you are requesting, your request goes to the database and it will give you the data reply. So this is the database management system, which is acting as an interface between user and the database. Okay, we are the end user, so we will open the browser here and we can see the output in a web page, but the information is coming from database. So here, whatever so far I discussed, end user, DBMS, metadata, okay, database, all the words are written here. See here, DBMS means this one. It will manage the interaction between end user and the database. This and this, how you will interact, who will manage, this software will manage. Your request will go through this data DBMS to the database and you will get the reply back as an information reply to the end user. This picture is clearly understandable to you? Do you have any doubts here?
No, mister.
So it is very easy. By seeing this picture, you can understand what you are going to study is, you are going to study this one only, about the database, how to design this structure. See, this will have only customer information. This will have invoice yani fatura, bill. When you buy items, the owner will give you receipt, bills. So that will be stored in these invoices. Product information. What is the information of the product that will be stored here? Like that. So that can be accessed using DBMS software. Now the next is advantages. What is the benefit of this using this DBMS? If you use this DBMS software, there are many advantages. What are they? There will be a consistency. There will not be a mismatch. There will be a consistency. So different versions of the same data appear in different places. Data inconsistency means same data, but it is appeared in many places, repeated. That will not happen when you use this DBMS software. Increase end user productivity. You can produce more results, the results in less amount of time, quickly, fastly, just like that when you use this DBMS. If you use the DBMS, these things will be improved. You can share the data. You can secure your data, provide security. You can access your data. You can make the decisions. So these are the different improved things you can do with the help of this DBMS software. And also the quality of the data. It will be correct. It will be valid. It will be timely updated if you use this software, DBMS. These are the advantages. So the sample question like this. Explain briefly about the advantages of DBMS. So you can write in some points and explain like this. Okay, data consistent. In your own language, you can write. Okay, consistency of the data is maintained, security is maintained, or security can be improved, productivity can be improved, quality of the data can be achieved. Such type of own answers you can write using uh, this DBMS. What are the advantages? These are all the standard questions, students. You may get in short answer or in the multiple choice questions, etc. Now we are moving to how many different types of databases are there. See, basically, if I go here, I can tell you these are the different types of databases. Single, multiple, centralized, distributed, cloud. So this is what we are going to study now. What are the different types of databases? Single means only one user can use the database. Multi means more than one user can access the database at the same time. Centralized means the database server will be stored in only one place. So from that place, you can all access the information. Distributed means the data will be stored in different locations, not in one place. Cloud, you know the cloud. Examples like OneDrive, okay? Then what do you call? Dropbox. Many are there softwares through which you can access, keep your information there and access the information from the cloud. So now we will explain what are the different types of databases. Single user means it will support only one user at a time. Olden days, desktop. So you will have only one desktop which is not connected to any network. Only one user can access the database, not multiple users. The second type of database is multi-user, means it will support multiple users at the same time. So under the multiple users, you have different types: work group database and enterprise database. See, work group supports a small number of users or a specific department. You know, in our college, there are different labs in LRC, okay, labs in the new building, Sharkia Hall, labs in the biotechnology department. So there are a group of users or students or the department people. IT department can only access the labs of LRC building. Biotechnology department students or staff can access only the labs of biotechnology. Okay, like our communication students can only access the labs of the communication studio, something like that. This is known as work group. Work group supports a small number of users or a specific department, which is coming under multi-user database. Second type of database is enterprise, means it is for a particular company or for particular department or for a particular organization, etc. It supports many users across many departments. Okay, departments, many departments can access enterprise company database. So single user means only one user can access at a time. Multi-user means more than one user. So if you do this, it will save time. Number 3, centralized database means your data is located in a single place. Let us say you have different colleges now. University of Technology and Applied Sciences, you have 13 colleges total. In every vilayat you have, in every city, like Sohar, Sur, Salala, Ibri, Muscat, okay, Rustak, Sur, everywhere, Nizwa. So, but the data is located, for example, all our information, student information is stored in Muscat. Centralized database, only one database. All the data is located at a single site in the single server at the Muscat. So from Muscat, Sur is accessing, Nizwa is accessing, Salala is accessing, Sohar is accessing, okay, Ibri is accessing, etc. So that type of database example is centralized database. Number 4, distributed database means opposite of the centralized. Data is not stored in one location. Data is distributed across many locations. Like students' data, I am storing in Sur College database server. Teachers' data, I am storing in Sohar College database server. Okay. Books data or information, I am storing in Salala College database. Computers data, I am going to store in the Ibri College. Like that, you can distribute the data and store in different locations. That is known as distributed database. The last one, the cloud database on the internet. You are creating and maintaining using cloud database services. So what are this one? These are the different types of databases available. So we can choose based on our requirements for our company requirements, university requirements, hospital requirements, banking requirements, etc. Okay, centralized, distributed, cloud, single user, multi-user. It's easy, no? You can remember, no, this one. Like, see this one. What are the different types of databases? Single user database. It is like this. This one, only one user can access the database. Multi-user means like this is student 1, student 2, student 3. They can access the database. Understand? Next is you have centralized. Like this. So think that this is maybe one city like Sur, Sohar, Muscat, Nizwa, Salala, Ibri. All the data is stored here. You don't have database here in these computers. For all these computers, this is the only database. This is the example for centralized. Distributed means every system will have its own database. For example, like this. Or you can say like this. See. So College Sur, College Sohar, College Nizwa, College Salala, etc. Every computer, every server will have its own database. This is distributed. Some data you are storing in Muscat, some data you are storing in Sohar, some data in Sur, some data in Salala, but you are accessing through internet. Distributed. Cloud database, you know. Examples. The internet. How you are accessing through Amazon, etc. like this. Microsoft Azure. So you are sending the query, it will contact the public cloud. This is your private cloud. You got the idea now what is the different types of information systems, databases now. Single means only one user, multiple, many users. Then centralized means only the data is stored in one location. Distributed means the data is stored in different locations. Cloud, the cloud will have the data located and it will give you the results based on the request. Understand, students?
Yes, Master.
Through pictures also I am explaining to you so that you should not feel bored. You should feel interesting. So that is why I am giving you the simplest way of learning. Distributed is like this. Distributed database. Centralized, only at one place you have the database. Okay, the question are like this. What are the different types of databases? Now, the some other types of databases are general purpose. Means Adi. The database is used for some normal things. There are multiple disciplines. Okay, the types of databases here. So general purpose databases it is called. Okay. Second, another type is discipline specific databases. So discipline means you are going to use for a specific purpose. Database you are going to use for university. Database used for bank. Database you use for the company. Okay. Database used for hospital. That is called disciplined specific databases. Discipline specific databases it is called. Okay, students? Specific discipline. General means you can use for any purpose. Maybe for your home, maybe for your business, like your father is having a shop, you can maintain your database like that. General purpose database, discipline specific database. Another is the daily transactions database, which is known as operational database. It is designed to support daily operations, day-to-day operations. Okay, so general purpose, discipline, and operational databases. So these are the other types of databases existing. Now, what are the other types apart from these is analytical database. Means you are going to use it for some analysis purpose. In different companies they will use like this. It will store the historical data, means the old data, and business metrics is used exclusively for taking some decision. So you are storing the data for 20 years or 50 years. From that, you are going to take some decision. So what is that type of database is analytical database. So from that analytical database, you have what are the names or terms you should know is data warehouse. What is this warehouse? It is like a storeroom. Stores data in a format optimized for decision support. Another word you should know for this analytical database is online analytical processing. So these are the tools for retrieving, processing, modeling the data from the data warehouse, from the store. From the store, you are going to get the data, you are going to process the data, you are going to model, design the data. Okay, so these are all coming under analytical database. Understand? Next is the databases used for intelligence purposes, business intelligence, capturing the user requirements or the business requirements, processing the business requirements. So based on that, it will generate the data, information, which will help to take the support decision making in your business. Okay, so these are the different types of databases: single user, multi-user, centralized, distributed, cloud, then this are the general purpose, disciplined, operational, analytical, business intelligence. Okay, lastly, these are also the types of databases you have. Unstructured data, that means the data which does not have any specific state. And the next type is structured data, the data which is in a proper way, arranged or organized or formatted in a proper way. Third one is semi-structured data. Data is structured but not completely. That is semi-structured. Then the last type is the data is organized in this fashion, which is known as XML. X stands for extensible, M stands for markup, L stands for language, XML. So these are all present here. Mm, different types of data in this. I will show you. Uh, see here, you can see here structured data, unstructured data, multi-structured data. See, unstructured is the data what you are sending in the WhatsApp, like images, emojis, tweets, okay, flowers, icons, etc. This is not a structured one. This is unstructured. Structured means organized and stored in the database. The name of database is Oracle or SQL or Access or any other databases like Sybase, DB2, etc. And this is the multi-structure. So this way the organization of the data takes place. Okay, here you can see the structured data is organized in the form of a bits, zeros and ones. Unstructured data through email, through phone records, through video files, through music, pictures, documents, and here semi-structured. So these are the different types of data which you can have in your databases. So that is what I explained to you here. This one, unstructured, structured, semi-structured, and extensible markup language. Any doubts, questions you have, students? Any doubts, students? Students, any doubts?
No, Mr.
You see the images here which I am showing. So from that you can get the information. From that you can get the idea like what I am explaining to you. Okay, so I will stop here up to here. If you have any questions, any doubts, please you can ask me. See, first thing what you have to do is you should all have your laptops, and make sure your laptops is having enough memory and space. See here, it should be a 64-bit operating system present in your laptop, and you need to download the softwares. What are the softwares? One is this one, Oracle XC 18 version. Another is this software, SQL Developer. I cannot send this one. It is very heavy. Okay, so you can download it. I will give you the link. I will give you the tutorials. So from that, you can download that one. And you have to install. I will give you the steps for that one. Understand, students? So this and this is the software. The first basic thing what you will do is you go to the Oracle and create one account, your account. Everybody should create one account. First step, you have to go here in this link. I will give this link to you in your chat box. So if you click this link, you will go to the home page of creating the account. Create your account, Oracle account. So you type your email ID, password you type of your own choice, your first name, last name, you are a student, your phone number, your college name, address, city, and the PIN code. Then click create account. Then you will get an email to activate your account. You will get an email to activate your account like this, something like this. Then you click that link. Then your account will be activated. Then after that, you can download the Oracle. See here, I have the steps. Check your email like this, it will give you. Then after that, you can log in. You can log in. Where is that? You can log in into the Oracle like this. So directly you cannot go. You can okay. Like this will come. So whatever account you have chosen here, that you have to provide here. For example, mine is this one. Okay, then sign in. Now you will be able to search and download here Oracle this link. Okay, see this one. This is for the Windows. So you have to click this. Then the file will be downloaded to your computer. It will be like this. Where I show you. It will be like this. It's nearly like 2 GB. After that, you right click and extract. It will be like this. Then you click this setup. I will send you the document. Okay. First step is you have to create the account, your account. Okay. So I will send you by mail. Oracle account creation. Create your Oracle account. Follow the attached document. First, you download that after creating the account, then we will see. Okay, I have sent you the email. First step is you complete before coming to the next class. You should have your Oracle account. Then you should able to download this one. This is the one. This is for the Windows 64-bit. Make sure your computer is 64-bit. This one. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we will continue in the next class. And I want to take your attendance. I want to take your attendance. Huda Hamis, is it she present? Huda Hamis, please give your
Yes, Mr.
attendance. Siham Said Al Salti, Siham is present. Siham, where are you? Please answer. Siham,
Yes, Mr.
Shada, Miss Shada. Shada is present. Shada Al Sadi. Shada is absent. Okay, she is absent. Then Muhammad Maulud,
Yes, present.
Saja Muhammad Nasir Al Araimi. Saja is present. Saja is absent. Okay, Hajar Muhammad Al Araimi. Hajar, Hajar absent. Okay, Anwar Al Sadi.
Yes, Mister.
Thuraya Al-Kalbani,
Yes, Mister.
Jahina, is she present? No. Rana Nasir Said, is she present? No. Fatma Al-Jafri, she is present? No. Asala Al-Balusi, Asala, no. Then Jawahar, no. Rashid Al-Kailani, no. Zayon,
Yes, Mister.
Zainab Al-Araimi,
Yes, Mister.
Osama,
Yes, Mr. Here.
okay. Fatma Saleh Al-Mamri,
Yes, Mister.
okay. Zainab Al-Amri, this is who? Zainab Al-Amri is absent. Reem Al-Jabri,
Yes, Mister.
Mariam Al-Mamri,
Yes, Mister.
Alia Al-Harbi,
Yes, Mister. I am here.
Sumaya Al-Mashaykhi. Sumaya is present. Sumaya is present here. Who is this? Asma Al-Badri,
Yes, Mister.
Yusra Al-Mardi,
Yes, Mister.
Khulud Al-Jafri,
Yes, Mister.
Bilqis Al-Yawfi,
Yes, Mister.
Suad Al-Hashmiya.
Yes, Mister.
Okay, thank you. Please create your account and download the software. Okay. Tomorrow we will meet, inshallah. I will stop now the lecture.